Hello and welcome to the Dad and Sons podcast, where I slept in 90-minute intervals for the past week to record on a video that's long overdue. But I should be finished up, and it might actually be out in the hours following this very recording.
Sonic.
What's more usual is that we got Matt Visual,
Sonic,
and Liam Edwards.
Hi, I don't make videos.
And we'll be making this a short podcast today so that I can get as much editing done as possible afterwards, and then, I don't know.
Oh, will we? I think Sonic
no, we won't.
begs to differ.
Well, okay, we've got a lot to talk about. You guys have spoiler chats for Endgame and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. What they care about
It's Sonic.
is Sonic.
It's just weird that like so many game things or audio, visual, non-interactive stuff this week. It maybe
Endgame.
the whole planet's
Game
going
of
full
Thrones.
circle. Yeah, get it, but shit. We also got good old classic '90s platform mascot Mario coming in to square off his rivalry with Sonic because they released some VR modes that I guess we got to talk about too. But until then, Sonic, yeah, like that happened minutes before we started recording, right? Like this trailer dropped.
Like an hour ago, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and say I enjoyed this trailer and I think I'm gonna like it. The only thing is that the Sonic model is so weird, man. Like they didn't
Isn't
give
it
Pikachu
awesome?
legs. Okay,
Shut
they
the
wanted
fuck
to give
down.
Sonic
This
legs.
podcast just lost all credibility. Not that we had any
I
anyway.
love how stupid it looks.
I like it. I like it. Because, all right, I'm a fan of Jim Carrey. I grew up watching Ace Ventura. Like, I'm going to...
Equilibrium, but as a villain.
Okay, wait a minute. Robotnik is a character? Is he really a character?
I mean,
Does Robotnik have anything to draw from, really,
Yeah,
as an
he has
actor?
personality.
Come on. Robotnik is shit. Come on.
Robotnik waves his arms in the air and says, just as the stone tablets predicted.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, it's a video game. There's no way
you've
Robotnik has
got to admit though, Matt, it is less of even drawing on some Robotnik theses and more of Jim Carrey playing Jim Carrey in a Sonic movie.
Yes, it is.
Well, the vibe I think they're drawing most from, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, is Sonic Adventure 2, where the main villain slot does kind of get slid out of the way for other characters like Shadow and Rouge. But I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting them to have like a Sonic Adventure 2 style war room where generals are sitting around the president in a circle and say things like, we have 500 hours to neutralize Sonic the Hedgehog before he collects the last of the Chaos Emeralds. Like the weird military aspect of SA2 is something that people have been making fun of for decades. I can't say decades because it's been multiple decades since the game's, well, almost. One more year and then it'll be 20. I just want to issue a Sonic the Hedgehog correction here. It's actually going to be 2 years before Sonic Adventure 2 is 20.
Can I ask a scientific question?
Yes.
I
Yes,
don't know,
you can.
man.
So, breaking down the trailer, right? So the first bit, our introduction to Sonic the Hedgehog, Mr. Sonic, is that he's going 760 kilometers an hour, right, or miles per hour.
Yeah, okay.
Which is pretty fast, as far as I understand.
Yes.
And there's a point in the trailer where there's like 9 bajillion rockets being fired at him. And he has enough time to quote that he'd done 9 million steps and also then drum solos the rockets out of existence. Yet he can't dodge a taser dart to his leg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing. Sonic the Hedgehog gets fucking shot with a gun.
That's his poor writing.
Can someone explain the continuity of that to me?
No, this is poor writing. It's garbage writing. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? I didn't say it was going to be a good movie. It's just going to be fun to watch. That's it. That's just people who don't know how to write properly. I mean, that might be a little harsh, but like, you have to think of these things when you put out a movie.
I like also that. Do you remember the leaked artwork for the concept?
Yeah.
And they had Sonic sitting on a police car with Chris Pratt. Mm-hmm. I like how they've downgraded to James Marsden instead of it being Chris Pratt.
Oh no.
Chris Pratt was like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it's also like going to be a buddy cop drama where they quip together. How's James Marsden going to keep up?
I know, right? Like, why is Sonic sitting in a car? I just don't fucking get it.
I don't understand. Why didn't they make the side character talk? The black lady was there and she just didn't talk the whole trailer. They like cut her out. It was weird. She's there. She's a character. Did you notice it? Did anyone notice?
Kind of. Was she at the elevator in the end?
No, she was in other parts. You just didn't see her because they focus on. You were focusing on the blue hedgehog, but like she's there. She's a character.
Got to get a tab open.
She's definitely a character there, and she doesn't talk the entire time. Not even one line.
I will admit, I did like some of the Jim Carrey one-liners. I like the is that all you got? No. Why, thank you for asking.
Yeah, yes, that is old school Jim Carrey.
That is
and
what
I mean,
I'll watch
obviously
it for.
it's not as nuts as like The Mask, but it's old school Jim Carrey, and that's what I'm going to see. I'm going to see that. The main guy, what's his name again?
Sonic.
Dr. Robotnik.
No, not the actor, the white dude with
James
the nice
Marsden.
eyes. Yeah, him. I don't know if he's gonna be good or not. He's usually decent in movies, but I really hope that is a Sonic Robotnik movie. That's what I want. I don't want to hear about generals. I don't want to see about the army. I don't want to see any of that. I just want Robotnik and Sonic. That's
shortly before I saw, I think one of the top posts on Reddit today is like, first look of Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, and it's not in his Dr. Robotnik costume. At the very end of the trailer, you see Jim Carrey actually kind of pull off a Dr. Robotnik look. Why didn't they use that costume?
Yeah, somehow has lost his hair somehow. I'm actually kind of happy and also freaked out that Jim Carrey has the same haircut as me.
At least you don't have that mustache.
I hope he lets out all the crazy.
I wish I had that fucking mustache.
Yeah, just like...
Do you reckon that's a real Jim Carrey mustache or that's a fake?
Oh, it's gotta...
You know what?
It doesn't
These
take
days,
long.
dude, with him, it might be
I've
real,
never seen Jim
dude.
Carrey with a mustache. I've seen him with a beard.
For like a 2-month shoot, you could just grow it out and then shave it off when you're done.
It is very thin. I thought Robotnik might have a bit of a more bushy...
I mean, that's a cartoon, though.
I thought they were going to put him in a fat suit.
Matt, talking about a cartoon, we've seen a fucking blue CGI hedgehog on the screen.
Legs! He has legs!
He looks gross.
Dude, it's weird. When the wide shot, when you see him in his full glory, I was like, oh, no.
He still looks like a naked furry man with a weird helmet. Like an over-animated helmet that's like suspiciously more animated than the rest of the model.
Also, I don't know about you guys, but do you have any idea what the plot line for this film is? Like, Sonic comes to Earth, the US Army employs Robotnik to catch him for whatever reason. Sonic says something like, I've got to save your planet. But like, what is going on?
They don't want to reveal too much, I guess, of the plot.
Oh, the very story-heavy, detailed plot.
I don't remember any of the plot. Like SA2's story scenes are a blur. What is burned into my brain, though, is the noise that Tails' robot makes when you lock on to stuff.
George, I think it's very clear to you and I and Matt that nobody who worked on this movie ever played a Sonic game.
But the war room with the generals going, we have 1,400 hours. Like, that's... how do you come up with that imagery unless you giggle at how stupid the imagery of SA2 is? Like, I feel like there's an element of camp there. Like, that someone on the team knows how dumb Sonic has gotten and is probably laughing along with us when seeing shit like his teeth.
Do you reckon they've got a more...
Like, look at his teeth! His fucking teeth!
Do you reckon they've got more of a free pass now Detective Pikachu is a thing? Like, when they were making it, they were like, whoa, you know, how people are going to respond to this? And then Detective Pikachu comes out and they're like, oh my god, we can get away with anything.
Pikachu didn't have legs! Pikachu didn't have legs!
Hairy little naked man legs.
And being played by fan favorite Ryan Reynolds.
Did they say who's voicing Sonic?
Actually, that's a good point.
That's a Google.
That's a Google.
We'll be right back after this sponsor.
Go see Sonic in cinemas now.
Ben Schwartz. He plays John Ralphio in Parks and Rec.
Wait,
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of that. I should be able to spot him.
Sonic the Hedgehog is voiced by what?
Ben Schwartz.
Why is? Wait, what?
Make sure you're looking for the movie voice actor, not the video game voice actors.
Wait, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was voicing Sonic at any point in his career. What?
Oh, this guy did BoJack Horseman.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? Steve Urkel voiced the Hedgehog? What?
Oh yeah, Steve Urkel did Sonic for a little while in the 90s.
What? This is like finding out that Mark did the Joker. I didn't know until years later. I watched the cartoons.
Mark Hamill?
Crazy. What?
That was
This
his
is
biggest
breaking my
role
brain.
since Star Wars.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, Steve Urkel is the kids. If you're getting molested, that's no good, Sonic.
Oh.
Yeah, Steve Urkel voiced Sonic when he was doing the Sonic Says lessons on how to call the police when the adults are getting too touchy.
Oh, yo. I'm trying to look for it. Now I just
So,
don't even care.
So yeah,
Yeah, in
that's-
'93. Holy
That's our
crap.
reaction. That's our impression. That's what people give the big clicks to on the internet these days, right? Right.
Sonic the Hedgehog, 93 to 94. Crazy. Wow. Okay. Wow, that was a blast from the past. Love that guy.
A lot of mistakes from the 90s are showing up here on this podcast today.
What we are looking for again.
Anyways,
You're not allowed to just use that every time.
speaking of weird-looking faces, though, I'm actually surprised that they didn't go back and redo the model like some rumors had speculated they would do. Because it looks nothing. Both Sonic and Robotnik look nothing at all like their game characters. Well, Sonic's a blue furry animal of some sort, sure, but
They do look. He does look like Sonic. He just looks like a weird version of it.
like a parody version of Sonic.
Like if you were go to a different time.
Can I also bring up another point that is just like peak why this movie is an utter disaster? They used Gangsta's parody.
Yeah, what was
I was.
that?
I heard that and I was like, what's going on? What's going on here? What's going on? There's a bunch of white people around. This is weird. This is weird. What's happening? It's the same thing.
Why did they use Gangsta's Paradise?
It's like I heard Walk It Out to The Secret Life of Pets 2 when I went to go see Avengers. And I was just like, I mean, Kevin Hart's voicing and everything. I was like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I heard Walk It Out and it was a full song. It wasn't just,
Wow.
it had
And-
words
and-
in it. So it's just weird. It was just weird. You guys don't know Walk It Out.
Children's
do you?
movie? I
Walk
think-
It Out. Walk It Out. No. Okay.
No, I
It was the
remember-
old dance craze back in the day.
I remember 2007.
You looked it up. You looked it up, damn it.
No, anyways, it was a very popular song.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. In your hood.
This trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog has a 50% dislike ratio. Okay, I'm predicting another thing that's going to happen that's going to be just as infuriating as the movie itself, and that is the inevitable fans who take Sonic way too damn seriously, getting way too offended at this piece of trash.
I'm going to enjoy this piece of trash.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy it, just like we said from like months ago. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I think it turned out way better than expected.
You guys were giving me the benefit of the doubt. You guys were making fun of me for wanting to make the best of this garbage ride.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
This
it's gonna be good.
garbage truck ride along.
So final verdict.
I'm gonna.
It's a watch from me.
It's definitely a watch for me.
I can't believe that I'm actually gonna see this.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend money. I'm gonna spend money
Like,
to see this
okay.
in theaters, and I don't do that.
This This is gonna make me feel alive.
I'm gonna buy the pre-sale tickets. Look at me.
I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like enjoy it in a normal way. I'm gonna like snicker and giggle and make the best of it, but at least I'll like be thinking human thoughts.
George, VR? Was that what?
Yeah. This one might be for Liam and me. We played. Well, I'm assuming that you also played the Mario and Zelda Nintendo Labo VR modes that got dropped.
I didn't play Mario. I just played Zelda.
Okay. So, you want to like simultaneously drop our first impressions down after a 3, 2, 1 countdown?
Yeah. Okay.
3, 2, 1. It was
not
kind
good.
of underwhelming.
Yeah.
Okay, phew. Oh god, I'm glad because I didn't want to like have a grift with you on this one.
No, it's arguably undefensible, indefensible.
There's a lot of points to argue. First of all, is their implementation of the head motion to camera system. I was hoping for a 1-to-1 like direct correlation between the head movements that you're making in real life and the movements you're making in the game, which had me worried about this dealio they have with you holding the strap up to your forehead all the time and what you're supposed to do in certain positions like lying down or looking down. But it turns out
lie down.
You can do that because it's
you can
just
turn
the
off
right
the motion
stick.
controls. Which you should, because it makes you feel violently sick if you don't.
Oh, man, I'm wondering if I didn't start feeling violently. I didn't start feeling...
it makes you bad. It makes you feel bad. Like, if you have the motion controls at, like, 1-to-1 with your head, and it doesn't move it left or right, it orbits Link.
It's the same exact camera system that the game was already in, which
it's really dumb.
Orbits and looks down from above and tries to make nice cinematic angles of Link being small against the backdrop. But that means that like if you pull your head upwards and look to the sky, the camera zooms out and backwards and looks up instead of just looking up like your head.
You're not using a controller with that, so it doesn't feel tactile enough. Whereas, when you're using VR and you're moving left or right, that feels natural. Whereas in this, you can't ever orient yourself to understand where to move your head quite enough. Like, do I move right to move the camera right, or do I move it left? Like, it's the opposite to, like, how you would actually... Like, if you were holding a controller, you'd hold left to spin the camera left around Link so you can see more of the right side of things. Where in your head, if you're using that as the motion controls, it just doesn't work. You never can figure it out, and it just fucking jumps all over the place, and it's puke-inducingly bad.
You also have some UI elements that I don't know about you, but they're kind of far on the periphery for me, like heart meter.
You have to like crush your eyes to kind of squint down to the bottom to see them.
Yeah, like glance to the left really hard without moving your head, and you'll feel what it feels like to look at your health meter and in the Zelda VR mode. There's a graphic downgrade and some frame chugs, but I think that's like the least offensive, or at least like the most expected.
I don't know, that once you turn off the motion controls and stuff and then you play it like a Zelda game, that's the only thing you can focus on, because the good thing about this, and there are positives to this in the sense that, for one, you don't have to pay for it, it's a free update, so, that's fine. And also, you're playing via Labo VR, which is pretty inexpensive. So the barrier to entry for this is pretty incredible, and you can play the whole way through Zelda in VR, which is also pretty incredible. So, but the only thing you can really focus upon then is the pixelation and the graphical downgrade. And whilst you are playing Breath of the Wild in VR, which is an incredible thing, the sense of scale is amazing, like truly amazing. In terms of the sense of scale, it's just not good enough. You just can't see anything.
Yeah, the resolution is not kind to distant objects, and scale
It's
is
not
great.
even kind to Link's face. You can't even see. It's so pixelated. You can't even, at the standard camera width between Link and where the camera position is, you can't even see the detail on his face.
Yeah.
I was preoccupied with thoughts of emulating the game in Cemu, running it through Vorpex, setting up an open track profile to turn head movements into analog stick movements, and how one could theoretically get a smoother, sharper version of this running up on a PC VR system.
It would be incredible, for sure. There is a sense of scale to this that I haven't really experienced anywhere else. Because, like, if you go to, like, the certain villages, you feel like you're very much there. And then when you stand under, like, the guardian beasts or whatever they're called, I forget what they're called, the divine beasts.
Yeah.
Like, especially the bird one in the sky, you're like, holy shit, that's massive. That's really bloody big.
See, like, as someone used to this stuff, I was more impressed by how the pop-in was seeming to work for things that were close up to me. Like, I played through the Great Plateau tutorial, and during cutscenes and when looking down from high up is when I noticed it the most. Not so much in regular gameplay. But unless I, like, pressed Link up real close against some blades of grass or some falling leaves and it looked like they were popping out at me, that was cool, I guess.
It's kind of hard to even play the game normally as well in this mode. It's kind of like
clearly not meant to.
Well, it's just, it makes me feel a bit sick. It just,
yes,
it's not meant to work this way. I feel like what I did is I didn't even boot up a new game. I just went to my save file and I transported all over the map to, like, different landmarks to see the sort of scale
tour.
or to jump off things and stuff like that. Like, jumping off things and soaring with the abseiling thing is pretty cool.
But it's more like a stereoscopic 3D mode than it is a VR mode.
Yeah, and it's kind of annoying because when you press the pause button and it goes to, like, the menu screen, the menu screen basically goes into, like, the PlayStation VR cinematic type mode.
Yeah, and that's how cutscenes are too.
And I was like, I'd actually kind of just want to play the game like this.
There's just a little bit of stereoscopy, but as far as the immersion of head movements translating into a point of view that carries some kind of presence between yourself, your own body, and the character in the game, like, that stuff is not happening at all.
It does kind of just feel like you're a weird, ever-present ghost on the shoulder.
Which can be cool. In some third-person games are able to do VR really well. It's weird seeing Nintendo not get it when their other demo demonstrates that they at least get it.
Yeah.
The Mario stuff is also kind of underwhelming, but it's at least pulled off following a lot more of the standard rules and expectations that VR games have kind of developed around themselves, and that is that your point of view does not move without any input from you. Sometimes you'll get slingshotted to a new camera angle, but it can be a little annoying in that respect because Mario can run off away towards the horizon line while you're still back there, and it'll turn into a little speck and get cluttered up by scenery, but that's part of the level design that they've made, which is very VR. It's very Astrobot, but Astrobot also has the controller gimmicks and, like, some moves where you headbutt bosses that your little platformer hero is also fighting at the same time. And I wonder how much inspiration of Astrobot was really in there, because I was hoping for a little more of that, but it's really a little pack of 3 Mario Odyssey levels that, again, are levels that were already in the game, but with coins and collectibles placed in more VR-friendly angles that have line of sight with your point of view. But unlike with Zelda, you do get the one-to-one head movements to camera movements, and you'll be swiveling around in your office chair a lot to try to follow Mario. When Mario's far away from the camera and then up close to the camera, you do get a consistent sense of scale, and he really looks like a creepy, bubbly little cartoon boy running around a table in front of you. if you position the camera just right. But ultimately, the resolution on the display is so low that the toyetic effect, when stereoscopic 3D looks like it's popping out to appear on a table in front of you, is something that I've noticed in both experiences only happening for objects close to the camera. And I'm a little intrigued now to see what this looks like through the PSVR headset, because some Japanese human on Twitter found a hack where you can plug the Switch's HDMI cable into a PSVR, set it to VR mode, and have it display there with motion controls turned off, which sounds like the better way to play the Zelda mode anyway. So I'm having a crisis here. Like, this was the system seller. This was the reason we bought this stuff. We both were like kind of on the fence until they announced these modes, and now that they're here, what's the point of living?
Well, I don't know.
Ah!
Come on, we all knew this was gonna happen. We all knew that the Switch's screen wasn't big enough for this. You know, we all knew this was gonna happen.
I kind of hoped that there would be more game design tricks to make up for it, and
What, Nintendo Magic? Yeah.
the Nintendo Magic there's some of that there with the blaster, but not elsewhere. Like, the rest of it is very prototypical and cheap feeling. Prototypical? I don't know. It's not an archetype of VR. It feels like a prototype of VR. That's what I mean by prototypical.
I mean, the fact that it works is pretty impressive anyway. The fact that you could just freaking play the whole of Zelda if you wanted to, and it's there for free, is kind of pretty amazing. But, yeah,
Free.
misses the mark.
$70.
I mean, the update is free. You could hack together your own VR kit. I mean, it's just fisheye goggle lenses.
With lenses?
Oh my god. Someone without this headset could plug it into their PSVR headset and kind of sort of get the same... Yeah. Whoa.
I want to see that happen. I want to see some emulator.
I'll be playing with that.
I will
next
plug in
week.
my wrist for that.
This week I'm going to try to get out my GDC videos I started making a fucking month ago.
Pressure is on.
And next week I'll try to be making some Nintendo VR stuff I started playing with 2 fucking weeks ago.
So, what else has been happening in your world, guys? I played I was about to say Marvel vs. Capcom. I played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is on the brain. MK11. I beat the story. Play some.
Did
Oh
you have
shit!
to
Wow, one of us has actually been playing that.
grind for
I tried to
microtransactions?
keep current. I was gonna do Days Gone,
I'm interested.
but I
if
feel
are the rumors greatly exaggerated, or are they on point? How bad is the grind here?
The microtransaction.
Yeah.
There's. So you have to do like the tower in order to get currency. I didn't go too deep into it because I avoid it at all costs. I think it's to unlock these other like costumes and stuff like that. You have to pay money, from what I can see in the store.
I heard that,
and they all
that you have
cost
to
like $5 each to
pay for
unlock, like,
brutalities in this one, which is a little offensive to me.
So the first one is unlocked, and then the second one is locked, but you can still do them if you remember the code. So I would pull up my my phone, look up how to do them. So to unlock them so you can actually see them in your menu, you have to do the tower. The tower is where you get, I guess, most of your currency to buy stuff. And people are complaining that that's the grind. But I don't grind. I don't do that. Unless it's a game I will grind in Path of Exile, but I don't grind anymore that much. So any game like, for instance, what's that other game that I played that had something like this? Shadow of Mordor. At the end of the game, you have to grind to get like the ending.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm good. I quit the game right there.
Some Peace Walker shit.
I get the game. Yeah.
God, man. That was 10 years
the
ago.
Peace
That has been
Walker.
established. That is the new normal, I fear.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Just kind of
Yeah.
makes me feel like Video games in general ain't what they used to be.
So another thing, you can either beat the story or get to chapter 6, I believe, to unlock Frost, which is like a Sub-Zero character, or you can pay for her.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
That's fascinating. Yes, indubitably.
So you can either spend a couple hours in the easy story and you can skip through all of it and get to her, beat her, and then unlock her, or pay, was it like $6 to unlock her right away. The weirdest thing, and I guess that taps into what these guys always say, these guys in suits. We respect the player's time. The AAA.
2 hours isn't a lot of time. It's
it's like 2 or 3 hours. I think
a bit of an evening.
I mean, I would say
at least
less
you
than
can
2 hours
unlock
if you
it.
skip everything, because this is a lot of story, and it's not all good.
But what about that Jax ending?
I don't know
Where
what
he goes
that
back
is.
in time
I think that's the
and frees
tower.
the slaves.
I think that's the tower.
Oh wait, that's not part of the main story?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it
the
was
main story
super
takes
adorable.
you through like multiple characters, lets you try them out. That's what it's there for.
Is it like the other NetherRealm games where the cutscenes will like swoop from fight to fight and you just seamlessly start in the middle of the cutscene?
Yeah, see, it does do that. I think the last one I played the story of was 9, and when they started doing it, and it was pretty fun. This one is a little bit like more story heavy, I would say. So you're waiting
Weird.
there for a good bit before you fight again. And the fighting is good, I would say. The fighting is good. I mean, the combos are pretty incredible to do. I'm just not that good at fighting games. So I never spend that much time to get actually good. So, it's good for, being able to do the basic combos, punch, punch, kick, kick, down punch. I could do some of those, but not be actually good to beat anybody good. But yeah, it's fun. It was fun. It was fine.
As long as it's fun, that's all that matters.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
it was
you'll
fine.
still beat me.
I rented it. It cost me $7 to rent it for 3 days. I got my $7 worth. Yeah. So,
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, renting is neat.
Yeah,
It's,
I've
not
thoroughly
enough kids
enjoyed
do that these days.
Yeah, it's Redbox is like the stuff, man. Yeah. That's MK11, and supposedly they're taking out a lot of stuff. And apparently Ed Boon does not. He's like sending out tweets because there's like this story saying that like the Switch version had $6,000 worth of stuff you can buy, like if you wanted to unlock everything, and it was apparently
$6,000 or 6,000 hours, which is more valuable?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, apparently it's false, and, it was data mined wrong, and, Ed Boon was getting... I never see these tweets where they kind of lose their mind a little bit. It's like, oh, LOL, oh my God, the 6,000 story is complete bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Like, all these little, like, face emotes, like, it's
Yeah.
weird to see.
I did actually see that.
It's weird to see these guys do it.
Professionals,
Yeah.
Yeah, professionals.
Old men as well.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Edwin's like, what, 48 or whatever?
Yeah, it's... And I know they've done this before, but it's just...
Well, we'll talk more about Ed Boon's character later.
Yeah, it's weird, man. But yeah, that's MK11. It's fine if you like fighting games. I mean, rent it, see how you like it. But it's a fighting game. I never spend money on a fighting game like to buy it, because I know I'm just gonna drop it. The only thing I've ever bought was Street Fighter, because a little bit of nostalgia, and I actually wanted to learn it at one point.
Oh,
And-
you got a stick for that, I remember.
Yeah, and I noticed that I didn't
was it
have
worth
enough
it?
time to be as good, because basically what happens at launch, you have that window to fight everyone else that's at your level to get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you miss that window, you're fighting everyone who is left, which are the good people. And then you never get really better. You just have to constantly sit and practice combos instead of fighting people. I mean, you still have to practice combos to actually get like incredibly good, but I just wanted to be like decently good, you know? I could do a couple combos here and there. But yeah, you can't fight anyone your level anymore. You're fighting people who are you know, they're putting the time in. This is the game that they play. I didn't have time for that. I didn't have time for that. I wouldn't have time for anything else.
3 days.
I didn't have time for anything else. But yeah, that's MK11.
Nice. I went back in time a little bit to 7 years ago.
Oh.
And I finally purchased a game I played a demo for 7 years ago.
Okay.
See, they work.
Yes, 7 years later. I bought Dragon's Dogma for the Switch.
You did it? You were like apprehensive about it a week ago.
I was apprehensive because, you know, coming off the back of Sekiro took me like fucking 60 plus hours. I didn't want to immediately commit to another massive RPG.
Yeah.
But with it being on Switch, you know, it's portable. It feels a little more accessible. I can piecemeal my time with it. But I bought it, and I've been playing it. I've only put in maybe about 10 hours or so so far.
That's good. Okay. How is it?
It still feels pretty piecemeal. And it's good. I can see why it's more of a cult classic than anything.
How's the port?
The port is pretty good, but I feel like, I don't know whether it's Dragon's Dogma or it's the port itself. I feel like due to what the issues are, it's more to do with Dragon's Dogma than a port. This game is janky. Like, jank with a J, janky.
Yeah. I believe that's how it was in the beginning, too.
Yeah, I feel like I remember the people saying that, like, it's something you have to kind of overcome to, you know, truly enjoy it for what it is. And when you get into it, like, the set pieces and the combat especially is, like, fantastic. It feels great. It feels super customizable. There's so much depth to it. It's directed by Itsuno, the guy who made Devil May Cry. So, well, the director of Devil May Cry. So, you know, it's got some form of combat prowess in it, and it's really great. But the moment to moment kind of stuff is so janky. It reminds me so much of old school PS2 games.
It was around that era, almost.
But those are the best games.
It was PlayStation 3, like, onwards.
Okay.
And it definitely retains some of that. Like, if it was janky on PS3, like, compared to some games now, especially coming off the back of the highly polished Sekiro, it is interesting. And I feel like that's doing Dragon's Dogma more of a disservice than it deserves, because it is pretty great. But it's like, you go into, like, houses and they're, like, empty, and you can just loot them, and, like, nobody will do anything about it. You can, like, you run around and you try and talk to people, but you accidentally bump into them, and they do that weird bump off animation, and then you have to wait for like 10 seconds to talk to them.
You're just reminding me that one of the very first things that happens in Breath of the Wild is the old man gets mad at you for taking the apple lying in front of him. Like, even Zelda has started throwing in gags that make fun of that stuff.
It's great. You go into like an inn in the first town in Dragon's Dogma. You go into an inn and this person will sell you stuff, but you can just literally walk around their house robbing them. And they don't do anything. It's amazing. And there was this. I was showing somebody that you can like fire arrows at people and they don't do anything.
That'll teach them.
And like, I fired an arrow at a guy and he ran away. And I was like, oh shit. Oh no, I thought you could like hurt them, but it was actually just the soldiers, and they were like not bothered. They had arrows sticking out of their heads and did not care. But the like sort of normal NPCs would run away, and I ran with this NPC to see where he went, and he went into this barn, and it was like a hard right turn, and I couldn't see where he went, so he went and ran into this barn, and when I ran into the barn, he just disappeared.
I'm imagining the two of you like drifting after each other, kicking up dust.
Well, it was so funny because he just runs, he just disappears, and that's obviously where his like exit point is in the scene. And then I did it to another NPC to test it, just out of pure curiosity. Ran after her for like 5 minutes to this barn, and she turns into the barn and just disappears as well. And I'm like, yep. It's full on old school jank. It's great. It's so great. It's like you do the prologue, and then if you die in the prologue, it just like cuts to black. You're like, what's going on? It just cuts to black, and then the game begins. There's no like text. There's no nothing. It just the game begins after you die, and it's like, oh okay then let's do this now. It's super janky, but I'm enjoying it. And being able to play it on the Switch, like in portable mode and stuff, is
I am tempted.
Really fucking cool.
I've dabbled in Dragon's Dogma before. Generally liked it. It looks like a time obligation though.
Oh yeah. I've heard like 100. It's like if you want to get the ending, it's like 80 to 100 hours, and I'm like, I don't think I'll get there, but the journey.
Holy hell.
I'm a fan of things like Dark Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. I'm sure I would like it. It's just that is what has always been turning me off all these years, is that time.
I don't think I'll ever get to the end. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's such an investment, but the journey to that point to play and enjoy. The combat's great. They have set pieces. I fought a Hydra. I climbed the Hydra. One of the amazing things about Dragon's Dogma, it has a very similar system to Shadow of the Colossus, where you can grab hold of things. Like you can sort of parkour your way around. If you can grab ledges and stuff, you can sort of get yourself into positions you really shouldn't be. But you can also like grab onto enemies, and then you have like a stamina bar, and you can climb these enemies. And it's kind of like really unique. If an enemy, like I was fighting would you say chimera type thing, and it had its leg like straight, so I was climbing up its leg straight, but then when it bent its leg, I could like go over the crease of its leg and climb faster across and stuff like that. It's really like dynamic. And then when I was fighting the Hydra, I could climb all the way up its neck onto its head and then like start stabbing its head. You just have to hold on. It's really cool. Some of the set pieces can be pretty great.
Yeah.
Might want to try it out. It's co-op, right?
I mean, it's a modern classic. People.
It's not co-op, no, but you can download other people's pornography.
Wait, what?
Wait, huh?
Huh?
You can download other people's porns.
So I know there was that like weird slave trading mechanic where you make a mercenary and sell it to other players. Are people like is there a fetish
pawns
for that?
No, they're just called pawns, like chess pawns. PAWN. Pawns.
Oh. Oh my God, Liam.
Matt, do you want to download my porn?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
What?
Yeah.
I'm highly offended by this.
Well, you get over it.
I want to see some Matt porn.
No. It'll be lots of hair.
On the floor at the barbershop. So you guys
I
saw
want to see
movies.
George and Matt team up to make porn. Can you guys help out my porn together?
So many race jokes I could make, but
Can we have like an interracial porn?
you guys saw movies, right? They're like real normal movies that weren't porn.
Wait. Okay. Let me. I did watch a lot of stuff. So Netflix No Chill, The Upgrade. Watch that. If you like sci-fi, watch that. It's good. It's good.
Whoa,
no one
whoa,
knows
Matt,
about it.
come on.
It's good.
We're running out of time now. We have to talk about something.
It's okay.
Yeah, you guys have been preparing this for a couple weeks. You guys got the spoiler chat. You've been.
I specifically fucking went to the cinema on purpose for you, Matt.
Marvel's Avengers 4, the final chapter, Endgame. Spoilers until like an hour and 5 minutes in.
All right. I don't know how much George cut out last time when I was talking about Captain Marvel, but all I want to say is I wonder why she wasn't in it. She was barely in it. I wonder why. Maybe because she sucks. Maybe.
Are you like?
Because she sucks.
Are you stomping across the floor right now? It sounds like you're stomping.
I'm just saying, Liam.
Yeah. Yeah.
She came in. Oh, hold on. Spoilers.
It's fine.
Spoilers. We're getting into the end game.
We
both saw the end game.
I want to clarify that I don't like hate not watch this stuff. It's just I never
George
got
saw the
started.
Endgame too.
Yeah,
Everything
sure.
George says is entirely true.
Exactly. Yes, they all get together and bang.
Yeah.
Bad
They
guys.
Wow,
really do.
that's the wrong one. You downloaded the wrong one.
Oh,
You downloaded
fuck.
you downloaded Matt's porn by
Usually when it
accident.
says XXX, it's a parody. Usually.
But yeah, remember that part where they beat up the bad guys and save the day and have
They
a
certainly beat
complicated
off the
moral
bad guys
crisis
in
on
your
the way,
version.
and I imagine that one of them comes like really close to death and gets brought back at the last minute. Does that? Yeah, remember that scene?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
All right. So, the end game. What did you think, Leo? What was your thoughts? Did you like it or did you?
I really liked it.
Mm.
I really liked it for numerous reasons in regards to, for all of the problems you can bring up with the idea of messing with time travel, which we all know kind of never really works.
Yeah.
But time travel isn't a real thing. There's no real defined laws about it.
Until we start throwing drones into black holes.
Until we do that.
Yeah.
But in regards to this being a cap, a curtain call upon 20 plus other movies, also to live up to Infinity War from last year as a part one, they pretty fucking they did it. Like they
Yeah.
really did it. They really did it. Like how hard and there's nothing to compare it to. Like the only thing I can think of is Lord of the Rings. Another thing, Lord of the Rings is a 3-part thing. This
Yeah.
is like a 20+ part with so many different characters, with so many different powers, with so many different
A
levels.
lot of references.
A lot of
Tons.
references, a lot of story beats, and like the idea of then doing what they do in the first 10 minutes of this film, and not first 10 minutes, the first half an hour of this film, and then going off and doing something entirely different that harks on some nostalgia but also kind of makes sense to then bring it to this epic conclusion with this third act that is the biggest fucking epic battle.
I want to clarify that I don't like hate not watch this stuff so much as I've just never gotten started. But every time it's been cool to see people come together over stuff like this because
Yeah.
media, television, movie events are becoming increasingly rare as streaming and specialization kind of blocks out the mass
find it-
marketable series that everyone
will-
seems to be watching at once. That's not as common as it used
will-
to be, and that's cool.
There will no doubt be something similar, but Marvel seems to have attuned to the whole planet. Like there is something about Marvel
it's
and
insane.
the way Marvel works. Like it's quirky heroes, the recognizable, but the humor with the combat and like it seems to hit on a lot of levels. Some of the solo films are just dog shit, which is fine, but they all piece together to something larger, and this is the large part of it, and they really pull it off with some issues, but they pull it off, and I liked it.
Yeah, the
What about you,
scavenger
Matt?
hunt was I mean, it was the best it could be.
I like the idea of doing it. Like, Paul Rudd got his moment, man.
Yes,
it's all about Paul
dude.
Rudd.
I can't believe this guy was on YouTube, man, doing Photoshop tutorials, man. It's so weird. It's so weird. You ever seen You Suck at Photoshop?
Really?
I think that's him. Yeah, My Damn Channel.
He started as a
I think I don't think he's
Oh.
ever connected to this thing now. My Damn
Yeah,
Channel.
I'm looking at
Paul.
his bio. It looks like he did have like a little acting career going for a while, then went to YouTube, now is back acting in super big roles.
Yeah, there he is.
No,
My Damn
he's always
Channel.
been an actor.
Wow.
And he was in a couple clips there, and then I'm pretty sure he's Donnie from You Suck at Photoshop. So it's crazy. But yeah, it's crazy. Like Donald Glover was the same way. But I just want to say, hold up, are you guys there? Like, what's going on here?
Hey.
We're here.
Oh, okay.
We're here.
Like, it got so quiet. It got so.
No,
I didn't hear any
I'm loving
snickering.
the Paul Rudd love.
Paul
Red
Rudd,
love.
I'm glad Paul. He was in the funniest scene that in the movie for me. It was the taco when he was putting out the taco and he had the taco in his hand, and all of a sudden,
hipster Hulk.
and then the spaceship lands and blows everything inside the taco out.
Press F for Paul Rudd's taco.
I am Googling Paul Rudd's taco now.
You won't be able to see it.
It's good. It's really good.
I like that is America's ass.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
He
That's
really
America's
did
ass.
well. He really did well in this movie. It's crazy that a rat saved the universe, though. You know?
Well,
a rat.
I mean,
A rat
butterfly effect and all that.
Hit the controls and got him out, and then it started the time travel thought process. It's really weird. And I want to say, Black Captain America? No. That's not gonna happen. What are they doing?
I mean,
not gonna happen.
You could go off that. You could go off and say that the Captain America ending at the end is pretty much something that spoils the entire film.
What do you mean?
Because if you think about time travel problems prior to this, like, oh my god, that Captain America, like, ending is like, what are you doing? Like, what happened? Like, the first Avengers film, like, Age of Ultron, does that just not happen anymore? Like, now Captain America's, like, 60 years old when that happens? Like,
what?
Like, what happens? How has this all happened? If he goes back in time and lives his life, like, then he wasn't there in the present to help them with Thanos. Like, like, what the fuck?
Wait, what? Wait, I'm confused. What do you mean?
Like, well, the ending, right?
Yeah.
So he's an old man, yeah?
Yeah.
But if he goes back in time and changes the past by staying there and living there, or is there two Captain Americas?
There's two Captain Americas. Remember? There's two Captain Americas before, too.
Oh, yeah, so he fights himself. So if he goes back in time...
He goes back in time and keeps a low profile and just lives with his love of his life. He's good.
Okay.
That's what he did.
Okay.
He got a life.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what they did with Captain America was probably one of the best things of the film. Like,
I mean, I'm
I
happy
don't
for
like
him.
him much. Like, he's very plain. You know, his films were fine, but he was just so plain.
They're the worst, but okay.
You know, they're what?
I don't like the Captain America films.
Yeah, they were fine. Yeah, like the action was good, but
They're too American.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Captain America. Like, but you can tell.
Captain America movies are too American.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's so American. It's ridiculous.
What did you expect?
his name is
It's
Captain
still-
America. It's like
it's
plain
still
white
like-
red, man.
He's
Plain
not
white
named
red.
Sir Bimble Bottoms British Chad.
It's still so over the top. Anyway.
Yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah, like when he goes back in time and meets himself, and he's just like, oh, okay. Like, he knows
Yeah,
who he
that was so
was, and he grew.
Yeah.
And then when he gets Thor's hammer, it's like he's like, yeah, you know what?
That
Yeah,
was
I
the
get
best
that.
moment.
I get that.
That was the fucking best moment.
Yeah, it's like you did earn that, and then you could tell that he changed, like him growing old. That kind of it put a nail in the coffin there. It's like, yeah, he did change. He kind of understands now what
So-
Tony's been telling him, and
I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I've never cried during a movie before, or even teared up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't particularly care, like, too much about Marvel, but I have invested a lot of time in them. It's not like Lord of the Rings where I really had, like, a care. But
Mm-hmm.
I did cry a little.
So
tell
Iron
me.
Man dying. Okay.
I cried. A little.
A little, just a little bit.
Honestly, like, I can't even remember any time a movie has ever hit me, like, to the point of tears, and I don't think it was anything about the emotional beat of that moment. It just was like the accumulation of everything that was happening, and that that point, that ending, that Pepper being there, Pete and Tony kind of not even being awake to see them, and yeah.
So the cheeseburger line. Do you know the story about the cheeseburger?
Maybe, probably.
So
with his daughter.
All right. So Iron Man, in the first Iron Man, he does a cheeseburger line, after he comes back. And it's because when he used to do drugs, real life guy, Robert, that he hit rock bottom when he went to Burger King.
Oh, when he went to Burger King, it was the most disgusting thing he'd ever eaten. Or
yeah, and that's when he decided to change his life, and that's why he's in the movie, right? And when his kid in the movie says the cheeseburger line, and in the first movie is where the line was delivered, and the guy, the security guard, is the guy who directed the first movie.
Yeah, Jon Favreau.
It's like a lot of that going on there.
There's a lot of Robert Downey Jr. in that. It's not just necessarily like
it's
Tony Stark. It's a lot of like, we've seen Robert Downey Jr. on the screen for a long time. That this is his ending.
It was good. It was good.
Did you tear up?
No, I didn't. Everyone else did. The two girls next to me were like, and even my
I was
friend
surprised I did.
He was like, man, that cheeseburger line, they got me, man. But yeah, it was good though. I think he died properly. We all knew he was gonna leave because he didn't want to do any more of the movies. The contract was up. He didn't want to be
if any of the
stuck in a
characters are going to
helmet
die,
for the next
the two guys who got endings were the guys who were
yeah, and
it was only ever going to be those two.
And yeah,
I felt bad for Scarlett.
For who?
Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, her scene was pretty dope though. Like them fighting to die was pretty dope.
Yeah,
it was pretty dope. Like you're like, oh, he's gonna be him. Oh, it's gonna be her. Oh, it's gonna... yeah, it was dope, and it does suck for her. I don't know if she. I haven't looked up anything, but she didn't seem to be too into the role. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
just
know.
Felt bad.
I'm talking on my
Everybody
ass
makes
here.
a big deal out of like Tony and stuff, and I get it.
Yeah,
Fan
people
favorites
had
and
to
all
die, but like I'm pretty sure some new people are going to come out. Okay, the Black Captain America thing. He's gonna have to do something with his his beard, man. The beard ain't working for me. Like if I'm gonna have to be looking at him, I'm just gonna the beard. Get a little bow here and then shave it off or something, because he's good as an actor and he's funny. But my God, I want to see a little bit. I'm worried about that. I don't think he's going to be called Captain America. Maybe he's just going to stay. I forgot his name. The Hawk. With the flying guy.
Yeah, I think he will become Captain America though.
Huh? You think he will?
He'll take up the monkey of Captain America. I think.
I
don't know if he'll have like solo movies or anything though, but I think he'll be.
Nah.
In role wise, I think he'll be called Captain.
Can you imagine
America.
a Captain America movie and he's black?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's insane to me. It is insane to think about. It's insane. Yeah.
Black Panther teaming up and fucking. And War Machine kicking people?
Yeah. Yeah, George, what do you think?
Did you
tear up at the end?
It's a travesty. Yeah, I was emotionally overwhelmed by the experience.
I like how we were talking about black characters becoming prominent, and George is like, it's a travesty.
Oh fuck! Did I just do that? I mean, no, never mind. It's fine. It's cool. It's great. I agree with the consensus stance. You guys want to talk about the other big game this week?
Yeah. I watched it yesterday.
In terms of other 7-year plus long franchises wrapping themselves up, I've heard that.
Wait. We're done. We're done with it.
Are we? I don't know what I talked myself into.
I'm messing with you. I just want to hear Liam's thoughts because Liam is staying away from it, and I'm gonna force him to say something. Captain Marvel wasn't in it, Liam.
She was barely in it.
You remember me going nuts?
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, the line she gives is pretty smart of them to do so.
What?
Because I think it's less about Brie Larson. It's more about Captain Marvel's like power level.
But like she was. I guess she wasn't meant to be the main character or something like that.
Well, she's not, is she? And the line she says, there are many more planets suffering from this kind of thing. And it's like, well, because of Guardians of the Galaxy and, like Thor Ragnarok and stuff, we understand that it's not just about Earth. It's not just about, like, Terra and that kind of thing. It's about, like, the whole universe now. And she obviously, while she is from Earth, she obviously has been around now for, like, 30 years at this point, being a hero in different parts of the universe. So her saying there are many other planets suffering, it made sense that she wouldn't turn up until Thanos was in that spot.
I'm just gonna say, even though it's not that I don't like her, I just don't like her character that she plays. Like her Captain Marvel is just weird. It's weird that the way they used her. It's weird. She comes in, she does her Captain Marvel thing where she's like, I'm amazing, you guys are just, peasants compared to me, that type of thing. But for some reason, she's very helpful to everybody. It's really a really weird character. It's really weird. She's all high and mighty, but she helps everybody. It's really weird. But they use her as like I don't like how they used it. She should have had a more, just one more line or something, because she just comes in and blows up some stuff, and that's it. That's who she is.
Blows up some stuff. She fucking annihilates Thanos' ship.
Yeah, that's it. That she's used as that. That's what she's used as a big missile. Like that's what she is. I
kind of get it. I kind of get it though, because like in the beginning she turns up because Nick Fury's disappeared. Obviously she has a tenuous link to Nick, and then she finds out that it's all because Thanos destroyed 50% of the entire universe. And then she goes off because she can't really do anything for those guys. She kind of like fucks off and looks at other planets, which makes sense considering, she's not just Earth's superhero, she's like the universe's superhero. Mm-hmm. And then when she turns up at the end, it's because Thanos is in that very spot, so it made sense for her to turn up to the spot where he is. Okay. I don't know, I was kind of okay with it.
Yeah,
she destroyed a ship in her own film. She destroyed this ship. Why would if she destroyed a ship in her own film, why would she not be able to destroy Thanos' ship? So there's some continuity.
No, I'm fine. Look, okay. Yeah. I'm fine with destroying the ship. It's just, it's weird. Her character was weird.
I'd rather her not be in a lot of the film anyway. She's a bit too sarcastic.
Yes.
There's enough. There's already enough
garbage.
There's already enough sarcasm in Marvel, like Tony and Rocket Raccoon, and
she doesn't do it well though.
Yeah.
Like Robert does it well. Like,
Rocket is fantastic.
Oh, okay. Like, maybe cut out all that Captain Marvel stuff, but let me just say.
Wait, what? Now after all this?
No, maybe. I don't know. It's also to Liam. It sounds weird, us hating on Brie Larson when she's doing stuff. I'm hating on her, not Liam.
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I'm hating on it for sure. Scarlet, what's her
Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch. There we go. I was like, wait, what's the other name?
Not Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I was about to go Johansson for some reason. I'm glad they showed her being powerful, and I would want, because she's supposed to be powerful.
Yeah, and she's really angry about Vision. And
oh my god, she was about to kill him, and it was gonna be great. I wish she has her own. I want her to have her own movie. and that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I want to see
I
that.
like Fat Thor anyway.
Yeah, I want that. But yeah, what you were gonna talk about, George? I didn't mean to segue that deeply. I meant to say one thing.
I mean, I'm only going to be like segueing us into something else that I don't know how to talk about, and that's the Game of Thrones series finale, right?
The night is dark. It's not a season finale.
No,
it's the mid-season point.
Oh, see, I really don't know. I thought they had ended everything.
The night is dark, and so is your TV.
Yeah.
So there's still more games to play over that throne?
There is 3 more episodes of Thronesing, and I think the last 2 episodes are like 2 hours each.
Jesus Christ, how crazy is it going to be on the actual last episode then?
Well, this episode was an hour and
30
minutes? Yeah.
I guess with like the ending credits and stuff like
God,
that.
Yeah. I think it was 82 minutes.
There
or
have
so.
been like documentary crews filming people mass viewing it in bars. This is.
I mean,
this
it was
is a
pretty epic in
event.
scale.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's Game of Thrones. We don't necessarily have to spoil it, I would say, but I enjoyed it.
We just spoiled the shit out of Endgame, but Game of Thrones is the
We
limit.
don't have to do another spoiler because we spent a bit on that.
Yeah, no, I feel like
Bit on it. It's already over an hour. That's why I say you might want to.
I feel like
George.
I feel like the Game of Thrones episode was a little anticlimactic. Although
No, it wasn't necessarily.
the Night King could have the Night King after all of this.
Yeah, it does
Could
seem
have
a little
had
weird,
more.
right? Like
I mean, not
one
the way the Night
episode.
King went.
That's it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like people's weird problem is the way he went. Like, why? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, fucking Arya was trained by fucking assassins and killers and became like a martial art god over the period of 4 seasons. Why is Arya not the best person to do it? Oh, that's right, because she's a woman. But in regards to like people's feelings about how it ended, it's probably more to do with the fact that the Night King didn't get enough explanation or time than before.
Well, explanation of what?
Just like who he is. You know, we know where he was made.
Is this the Ivan Ooze guy?
Well, they said, like,
We know where he came from. He came from the children of the children of the forest or whatever. He's made by them, right? But like, why him and the crow? Like, why Bran? Like, what when he kills Bran? Like, Bran says, "Oh, he'll bring like the long night or something." But is Bran the guy who raises the sun? Like, what is going on with that?
He is Ivan Ooze.
Wait, what?
yeah. There's no build to that, and like the dragon
illusion.
fight for some reason was just kind of dumb to me, because like
That was
there
weirdly
like, 2
Dark Souls-esque.
scenes. Yeah, like he came out of like what did he run out of the money or something? It was weird, right? He just came out the clouds one time, and then that's it. That's it. That was the dragon scene. That was the fight. She didn't have any reaction to seeing her dragon being this way. Nothing. It was weird.
Well, she could barely see. I mean, everybody could
But
barely see.
he wasn't. He was obviously on her dragon. Like that. I mean, that's why they were up there. They were searching for him. So it was just weird. Maybe a little rushed. I don't know. They probably didn't rush this. This is Game of Thrones, right? They had money.
I don't think it was rushed. I think it took I was watching the behind the scenes. It took 55 days to film. It was like their longest shoot ever, I think.
Oh man.
I feel like the pacing of the episode was fantastic. Like the build up in the first arc, the suspense, then the Dothraki horde going in and just getting wiped out and all the lights dimming was very well done. And then having the tonal shift to where everyone enters the castle and Arya is sort of stalking around. And then it getting to the climactic ending where the Night King turns up and he raises the dead again and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck? It's just that last bit. There's just he has all of his lords that we've seen with him as well, and you don't know who the fuck they are.
They're the babies. They're the babies.
Yeah, but he also had the lords throughout the whole film. Yeah,
Those
the
are
guys
the
on the
babies.
horses with him. Yeah, no, I get that. I get they're like Craster's sons or whatever,
Yeah.
or they're older babies from like wildlings long ago. But like just the fact that they were always on horses and stuff, like there was some significance to them. There should have been. I don't want to say there should be sword fights for everything, but like they have Valyrian steel for a reason. There should have been at least like
Something.
Theon picking up like a Valyrian steel sword and like doing his last breath to fight.
He went
And
there
then-
and died. That was the most dumbest. It's like Theon should have been like, "Yo, Bran, I'm gonna die anyway. Can I just sit back? Can I just sit back on this one? Can I just not die?"
Well, not even that. Just like Theon picking up like a Valyrian steel sword or something and trying his fucking hardest to fight, and then being surrounded by all of the lords or something, like Theon's last stand, but instead of the stupid death he receives, and then Arya jumping out and stabbing the Night King in surprise. That would have been better, but you know, it's fine.
I think one more scene with him stopping the blade and then her figuring out another way to stab him would have been better. Like a nice quiet scene. He blocks the first one, he blocks the second one, and then she finds another one. Like I would just one more of her being slick, because I feel like just him being unexpected just once is just weird to me.
No, I'm okay with that because it tends to be like the idea that, you know, you get caught off guard once and that's the end, right? In a sword fight, get caught off guard once, you get dead.
Yeah.
Get good scrap.
It's just the Night King. Oh, winter
Well, that's
is
why
coming.
he should have had like a fight. Like he had that fucking ice sword on his back. He's gonna pull that shit out and everything, and you're like, well, he's dead now.
Well, I mean, that's how life is, you know. Sometimes you prepare and then you die. That's just how life is. I'm okay with that
Just
part.
they
I just want him
spend
to be
so-
like this all-powerful guy who just got wrecked, you know, got outsmarted because he was decently smart doing stuff, standing
And
back.
there's so much build up. Like
Yeah.
there's so much build up to the Night King. He's not like a one season plotline. He's literally like 4 seasons of. Like the White Walkers have been since the first scene of the show, but like they never got any further than Winterfell. They made it past the wall with a big ice dragon, and then that's it. They only made it to Winterfell.
Can you imagine if he didn't die when he got poked with the sword and Arya just...
Well, that's the thing is that, you know, they've only got 3 episodes left, and you're like, well, Cersei's still on the throne. Jon and Daenerys have to sort out their little Targaryen shit. So,
What
like...
do you mean? It's already sorted out, man. They're in love, man. More incest inside.
Yeah, but
of
who's
Game
going
of
to be the
Thrones.
leader?
You know,
Who's going to be the... Is Daenerys going to be the real villain? Is she going to turn on Jon? Because I think that might happen.
nah.
She ain't going to give up that queenie title.
If it's real
unless she gets
love, you
married to
don't
him.
turn on.
Man, I was at a wedding a couple days ago, and even they were talking about Game of Thrones and how they're just expecting her to die. Like, I was hearing almost the same thing out in a crowd with normies at a wedding.
Normies. Everybody watches Game of Thrones is a normie.
Everyone goes in there. Oh my god, People are- you know,
I'm
when you
excited
go,
to see
you
the
go
next
into
couple
the
of
theater, like at I guess launch, the first 3 days when everything's kind of sold out. You just get the people that are like, "Whoa! Oh my God, he died!" You know, like it's nuts, dude. I usually don't watch movies at launch like that because I just can't stand that shit.
Whoa!
Even for Star Wars, yeah,
Jon
that crowd for Star Wars is always pretty tame. They're like, oh, you know, it's more of an adult reaction than it is not little kids, because they're not little kids. What do you call that? I don't want to say normies because I feel like normies is
Fanboy?
very very bad
Man-child.
to say. But yeah, the Nori reaction, like ooh, like over exaggerated, so emotionally invested into this movie, which some people do get.
God. Man, I can't wait to see those people in the Sonic crowd.
Oh no. Maybe I don't see
Gotta
that
go
launch.
fast.
Yeah, how many people are gonna how many times are you gonna hear at that line? Like the whole theater just like giggling because they think it's funny, but not loud enough because they don't want to look like weirdos in front of everyone else.
Yeah, you know what? I think it deserves a giggle at least. Gotta go fast.
Yeah,
everyone's like, oh, everyone chokes on their popcorn.
Exactly. Because they know it's funny, but they don't want to look like a Sonic fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there with a Sonic T-shirt with a big golden ring over my neck.
Oh my god!
You know?
Oh my god! So a while ago, I gave my friend Ryan a Sonic shirt as a gag gift. It was actually a "Gotta Go Fast" shirt with like that poor child's Sharpie scribble of Sonic on it.
Yeah.
And in retaliation and revenge, he gave me a pair of fucking ugly Sonic socks. I'm gonna wear those. I'm gonna wear my Sonic socks to the Sonic movie. Holy shit. I'm really turning into a piece of shit live on air on this podcast right now. We could move on to the next topic that I could talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
This week in last week's news, it keeps happening. More episodes of Crunch are being exposed, this time from developers from Epic Games and now NetherRealms. We were just talking about Mortal Kombat 11 and how it's fine, but has these microtransaction scandals. Yeah, Polygon has two big reports out. Fortnite's Battle Royale mode was apparently developed in 2 months, and they worked out the free-to-play model in 2 weeks.
That doesn't surprise me. Everybody forgets that Fortnite came out as an entirely different game in the beginning.
It's not just called Fortnite.
It was not very successful.
It's Fortnite.
It was a build and fort game
with enemies and zombies and
yeah.
And now it's Fortnite : Battle Royale.
Well, it wasn't even that. Then PUBG came out, and then they made Fortnite Battle Royale as a separate expansion on it. And then they were just like, well, fuck it, it's just Fortnite now. So when you upload Fortnite, it's entirely different. The game is now about the Battle Royale mode instead of the previous actual Fortnite.
So is it accurate now to just call it Fortnite instead of Fortnite : Battle Royale?
Yes, I believe
Excellent.
so.
Good. Oh, that's going to save me no trouble. We got quotes from some QA contractors and one full-time developer who said something about how they were working during weekends, which is a little new. A lot has been said about these 70 to 100-hour work weeks sometimes, but weekends...
New?
Yeah, weekends.
It's not new. It's average Crunch.
So being pressured to work on weekends is normal, that's average?
Yes.
That's shit.
Crunch is Crunch. Crunch is like, you get Sunday off, maybe. You don't go home.
That's poop.
You work.
You don't go home.
All day. Around the clock. Every day. Weekends aren't an exception. Like, Crunch is Crunch. You don't go home.
So what they had the QA contractors doing was sitting around for tens of hours over weekends looking for tickets to come in, and a lot of times they wouldn't. They were called bodies. One senior guy would just say, "Get more bodies."
Oh my God.
And when we're done with them, we can just dispose of them. They can be replaced with fresh people who don't have the toxic nature of being disgruntled from working for tens of hours doing nothing over the weekends.
God fucking damn it.
In response to that article, some developers from NetherRealms came out after their new Mortal Kombat game released with controversies. I don't want to say bad reviews because it didn't review badly among the press, but
really
it did with the fans.
It reviewed well. The microtransactions and the grinding is what everyone's complaining
A
about.
microtransaction and a grinding scandal can apparently ruin an otherwise great launch. Up to and including the point that your employees start talking shit about the workplace.
And what's great about this is it wasn't anonymous. Everybody came out with the NetherRealm Studios and put their whole reputation on the line and were like, no, fuck this. This actually happened. This is what was going on there.
We have one concept artist who is named Beck Hallstatt, who
12
noticed
hours?
that
12 an hour?
she was getting 11 an hour. The rest of the boys were getting 12 an hour. She thought that was a little suspicious.
But that's not livable. Where are they? They're not in California,
Chicago.
are they?
Chicago.
Jesus Christ, that's not livable. Holy shit.
She says, quote, "Because of this, NetherRealm Studios contractors need overtime to survive. They need the time and a half pay to make rent."
Yes.
That's depressing.
Yes. Oh my God.
When the studio was in crunch mode, it was common to see employees walking around in pajamas. One guy was notorious for walking around in his bathrobe.
I mean, like, fair play to that guy, because at the end of the day, everything goes out the window when you work crunch. Your health, your weight, your hygiene, you grow beards, you don't cut your hair, you have no good diet, you can't exercise, you never see the sunlight.
Oh my god, you turn into a gamer.
Oh my god.
No, like, but this is different. Like, saying that will only give ammo to the people who don't care about the situation. Well, we stay at home and do that anyway because we're hardcore gamers. This is completely different.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll be putting out a video on it soon. With
you're
hours.
forced to do this, and it's wrong.
And apparently there was also a issue of gender-based harassment and discrimination and joking and jostling going on. She says, we brought up the harassment, the bathroom issue. Apparently there was a bathroom issue. The secret nicknames that devs had for all the female employees, the lack of women who are actually having full-time jobs, the singling out that we experienced. It took a year for the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to decide that apparently nothing bad had happened, and on top of it all, they insulted my coworker and me, telling us we were misremembering everything and taking personal jabs at our skills.
Guys are such dicks, man. They're oh my god. I hear this all the time. From people who are devs, and they say the same thing. Guys are dicks. I don't understand why in gaming it's so big. I don't know. Do you think... No, gaming is not more accepting. That crowd can't be more accepting,
Hell
right?
no.
No.
Gaming's too young and has been male-dominated for so long that it's I don't want to say it's a new thing, but it's obviously just people's failure to accept what gaming is now, which is an accessible and viable option to work for everybody.
It's not that what it is now. It's just what it's always been for everybody. It's just
yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's just the internet exists now, and then you can see people who play.
And the sales numbers for the NES and the PS2, both of which, were not the Wii explicitly marketed for casual customers, but those were like mainstream devices that sold into the hundreds of millions. Everyone had those consoles.
Yep.
During their respective lifespans. And I'm just especially disappointed by like this thought I had growing up that like the meat would inherit the earth, that like gamers who are stereotypically a victim of bullies would not become bullies themselves. And I see so often like, of course, we're not talking about every single gamer out there. If you're not a bully, then it should be implicitly understood that we're not talking about you. But if you scroll through the comments underneath, like, I don't know, the Game Developers Choice Awards ceremony, you will find this incredible dirge of negativity that is just, it's not the way it used to be. Oh no, the cops are after me for it.
The Gamergate cops are here.
and yeah, like that's the response was, oh, how can you blame Gamergate on this when it was 4 years ago, when Gamergate normalized this kind of like defensive bullying based on just accusations of being a gamer itself, when that's not the hill anyone should die on, when being a gamer was already just like normal male unborn between 82 and up.
It's just...
These boys need to be chin checked. That's what we used to do back in the day. Chin checked. Chin checked.
What does that mean? Violence? Because then they'll get on you for that.
I hope so. If they're not checked, if none of your friends tell you, hey, that's not cool, man, then they just keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. So
and with the way the internet can deliver groceries these days,
they can stay in their basement.
You don't even have to leave the house.
Oh Lord! But I mean, these guys obviously have jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't speak about this subject without getting a little annoyed, because when I go out with friends and we go out to bars or whatever, I see these dudes, and sometimes I have to talk with these dudes. It's hard not to be not angry, but just a little annoyed, and I have to not chin check them, but I have to check them sometimes, Yeah, because there's females in the group, so yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I have to deal with these dudes. I don't like them. I don't like them. Yeah.
I'm timestamping a lot of that. We will review as the days go on.
Don't mess with Matt. Jesus. Well, shall we then take one listener question and let you get to it?
Okay, so yeah, we're only gonna do one question because I want to get out of here.
Because George wants to make videos for you wonderful people, so stop frickin' complaining at him.
What? No, don't say it like that. It's not.
I see you in the comments.
I'm kind of with them on this one. Anyways,
I'm fucking watching
Nick
you.
D, Nick with the D's got a
Nick
big,
with the big D. Nick Duggan.
God.
got a big question for us. Despite inferior graphics, controls, and story, I seem to have just as much fun playing games like Super Monkey Ball as I do playing games like The Witcher 3. My question for year 3 is, what elements of older games do you feel like are lost in the current generation?
Ooh. Arcade-based score attack games are kind of lost now.
Yeah, it's not oftentimes where you'll go on a grand immersive adventure and have a score counter at the same time.
Not even that, just like games with leaderboards with big like scores where you have to put like, 3 initials.
Oh yeah. I was about to say like Tetris Effect as a counter to that, but even Tetris does not it's your name, it's your screen name. It's not fun anymore to make ass out of your subtitles on the high scoreboard.
Yeah, like score attack based video game design has kind of disappeared a little bit. You got multiplayer leaderboard rankings, but that's a little different to like score based, like doing like an arcade mode in something and getting a high score for it. Maybe like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, kind of. That's medals.
Turn-based. I should die. Sorry.
Wait.
No.
Turn-based? Like
Do you need some medicine?
with strategy games? Because I will always love turn-based strategy games.
The RPG turn-based. I'm a hater.
Yeah, that was always a little weird. I'm pretty sure that the whole reason why Final Fantasy games in the first place had turn-based combat was a mitigation for how like long-lasting the games are and how slow-paced they are. It was the turn-based combat was there to serve the story rather than the other side around.
Yeah. They have mechanics and stuff like that. Like Persona is turn-based.
Whereas with the turn-based strategy, it feels like a digitization of a board game that has been around for hundreds of years. Like, I feel like there's a little
certainly
more...
a distinct lack of them. I mean, Persona is obviously kind of... I mean, Tales as well. Kind of the long-lasting remnants of that era. I mean, even then, they're kind of...
Like,
a little different.
I don't know if I miss turn-based RPG combat, but what I do miss is the kind of ubiquity that a lot of older games had for fast, snappy controls. Nowadays, a lot of subgenres relish in detailed, long character animations. A lot of it kind of procedurally ticking out of the Euphoria system in Grand Theft Auto as you're holding the buttons, and it makes so many games feel sloppy and unresponsive. The Witcher 3, being compared to The Witcher 1, is a good example of that. Like, the first game is a little more responsive and crunchy in your hands.
Well, you just mean that it has less animation.
Yeah.
So newer games have way more animation, which makes the input to output feel longer, which makes it feel more sluggish.
Yeah, exactly. I miss... I find that things like Sekiro that are crunchy and snappy and fast are more of the exception than the norm, and that there's like more...
Yes.
I get that it's a stylized thing, but it was the first thing I didn't like about Grand Theft Auto 4 coming into it from San Andreas, was just like how the cars would flop over and the characters would tumble downstairs. And
Do you know something weird that I kind of miss? Speaking of like janky PS2 games and stuff, I kind of miss that every game doesn't have cutscenes anymore. Do you remember like every game from like PlayStation 1, N64 era on to like PlayStation 3 had cutscenes, no matter what type of game it was. Like if it was Halo Wars or one of the Tales games, or if it was freaking like a Peggle or something, it would have cutscenes in some form. And they were like, they could be awful, but it was like brief, weird 2 minutes or less of just whatever their best CGI animators could make.
That was also the era of like everything trying to have some kind of story that was way more serious than it should be. For some reason, I remembered Second Sight the other day, which was a third-person action game made by Free Radical that really hasn't aged as well as their Time Splitters games, but it was this like gritty, serious spy drama that was put out on a middle tier budget as a side project that had really fancy physics and great graphics, and that whole budget level of AA projects that were able to hit production values and ambitions that were as big as the real thing in the AAA world has, I think, been the real victim of the PS2 era that won't ever come back. It's just like the budget of games making more sense.
I don't know whether this is just the gaming changing times and not necessarily about game, but something about Matt said about Mortal Kombat, about you just can't play multiplayer games now, really.
Because people are too good.
Without like local
there
co-op?
Just being a whole host of other people who have just dedicated themselves to that one game, which is not something I could ever do.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
There's too many games to experience, and plus, like, that's a lot of time.
It's interesting seeing the industry adapt to that by nurturing and supporting those exclusive tastes in one particular game.
Stuff. Yeah, like everything has to be not catered towards, but has a focus towards hoping that it could be like a long-lasting esports-based thing.
And games like Overwatch and Apex Legends seem explicitly designed from the ground up to nurture that sort of relationship.
Yeah, I mean, some people just want to play one game, enjoy that one game, spend their money in that one game.
But now they know that they can do something out of it, whether it is you can be a great Twitch streamer or you could like rise to play for an esports team or something. There is always something that is like the extra incentive to play multiplayer games now.
Yeah.
There's not just like, turn it on for like 10 minutes and play some multiplayer games with people online like you would
360
even playing
days.
like...
Oof.
Yeah, like even the
days.
360 days, there just wasn't like money in it. There wasn't stuff like that. There of course were like tournaments and stuff and like bragging rights, but it always kind of was just about bragging rights. And it was like nobody really pushed themselves to dedicate themselves entirely to one game like they do now.
If I understand the question right, it's what do older games have that current generation doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like I got it wrong last time. Local co-op is what I'm going to add to that.
And as a response, like specialized genres entirely specializing in local co-op have popped up to fill the hole. Yeah. I guess I'm seeing...
we have like Overcooked and stuff like that, but it's not a big thing now for like AAA.
It's specialization. You know how when like as magazines popped up and printing got cheaper, people would go from reading a general newspaper to reading their own little specialized hobby magazine, and then the internet showed up, and now it's a specialized website, subscription-based content creation media landscape. And that's it's interesting to think that same phenomenon has kind of happened to game genres.
Yeah.
I like games. I like games then. I like games now. But games change, just like everything else.
Yeah.
And I don't worry necessarily. Because obviously I make games and I have to change in that regard too, but I do miss what seems to be simpler times. But if you went back to that time, you'd be like, fuck me, I wish I could play my Switch right now.
No microtransactions? What?
But the thing, it's not like I ever bought microtransactions anyway. It's just shitty for the people who do feel that temptation.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like people designing with that in mind changes.
And that's what scares me. I am afraid for Civ. I think Civ 6 is great, but I can't ignore that it didn't become great until more expansions came out. And that game is built off of a carrot on a stick that's dangling in front of your face throughout the whole process.
Well, I don't know, because that could also be partly due to they were lucky that they're now in an era where you're able to do that, whereas Civ 6, if it was back in the day, it could have come out and then that's it. It was shit, because that was the game you got. Whereas now, at least, with games like Anthem and stuff like that, they can get better.
It is just...
That's one of the benefits to living in this modern age.
It's so fucking scary to imagine a Civ game where you can press a button to boost your technology research by 4 turns, and that it's a... The thing is, the microtransaction economy seems built for game design. Like, it would not have worked for other forms of entertainment in the way that it does for ours. And it's kind of it's added this ghost that's just following my brain around with a lot of stuff nowadays, and my hope for the future is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Well, we can only live through it and find out and hope that more ports like Dragon's Dogma keeps the jank from older games on our modern consoles.
Yes, and I do at least expect cool subgenres specializing in my weird taste to last for a decade and more.
I mean, you'll definitely get that in VR.
So long as people keep making and spending money, the economy should be able to support itself for cooler, indier, smaller games. That's my theory, at least. And it'll also allow companies like FromSoft to make little spin-off projects and pour a bunch of money into them, like Sekiro. Like, that was a risk.
Yeah.
That was a gamble that I feel they took, and it paid off. Didn't they hit 2 million copies?
In the first week.
Damn. So it works. Games
Good.
that are built
The game deserves it.
in the grand tradition still work.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
George, you haven't finished Sekiro.
Well, I know, but I'll someday. Right now, I need to edit. You need to. It's been a month. It's been a month.
Matt, we can't, Matt.
Excuses.
We have to keep on this.
Yeah. You
I
haven't
would-
This
gone
cannot
through
be
the
forgotten.
gauntlet, man.
I care so much more about editing this video than I do about finishing that game right now.
That game. Aren't you like
That game, my favorite game of the
From
past couple
Software
of years.
guy?
How could you?
It can still be called that game in shorthand of a conversation for the sake of
Didn't you, like-
brevity and speed.
Didn't you like film in a graveyard for one of these
It's
games?
just a pronoun followed by a common noun. And I do kind of like the Dark Souls better, but I still like Sekiro.
Because you haven't finished Sekiro. Sekiro's better.
I know, I'm still wanting one more good dark
Shit, people
dungeon
get-
guy with the aberrations.
Man, I really like Sekiro. Really. Now I've had time to digest it. I finished it and stepped away from it. I really enjoyed my time with that game.
I mean, how could you like Sekiro but not Katana?
I need to edit the video.
Okay.
I got it.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Already went on long with the That's the end.
Send in questions.
Yeah,
I want to hear about
Oh my God.
dating advice for George.
Oh my god. Wait, what?